right now we're going to go out to the phone lines, welcome in a very exciting guest, Dre Kirkpatrick, the 17th overall pick in the 2012 NFL draft by the Cincinnati Bengals, an Arizona Cardinal in 2020, but of course, a five-star cornerback for Alabama out of Gadsden from 2009 to 2011, helped Alabama to 2 national championships in 2011. Dre, welcome it back into Tuscaloosa, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing incredible. Grateful for the opportunity. Excited to get into this with you. Your foundation, Dre Kirkpatrick's 21 Kids Foundation, is partnering with the Quality of Life Health Services for Gadsden Community COVID-19 Vaccine Clinic. This event is in
Yes, sir.
Gadsden this Saturday from noon to 3 p.m. and you can register by calling 256-439-6404. And more information is available at drekirk21kids.com. Tell us about the clinic, why this effort is so important to you, Dre.
Well, I just feel like it's mostly important because of the tragedy that's going on in America right now with COVID. And I reached the hard decision of getting vaccinated, and I just feel like, man, a lot of people don't have that opportunity offered to them, and they don't have the education behind it. So what my foundation and quality of life is doing, we've come together and we've gathered up $100,000 in grant money to provide the information, provide the centers for people to come and get the vaccination. And the Hispanics and the Black are the ones that's you know kind of in the less fortunate area far as getting the information and being able to get the shot. One probably less educated, and we just want to educate them on these things.
When we're talking about that trusted information and uh, you know, reaching out to rural communities, especially here in a state like Alabama, where that misinformation can come from a myriad of different places, whether it's social media or network news and those sorts of things. Why in this process did that become such a important aspect of this event, where it's not about necessarily vaccinating as many people as possible, but giving them that information so they can make the best decisions for themselves?
Yeah, because we don't want to force it on anybody, man. We didn't want to force it on anybody. We didn't want anybody to just feel like, hey, we pushing the envelope of this is what you have to do. We want to push more like, learn a little bit more about it. Uh, talk to more people, talk to your peers, talk to people that has taken a shot, which I have taken a shot. I have been vaccinated, and I couldn't push the narrative if I wasn't vaccinated. So it was a hard decision for me, and I wanted people to know that this just didn't happen overnight. I wasn't overly excited about it. I did my research. I studied. Constantly was on Google, looking at the news feeds, and I learned. I learned a lot, and I just came to the narrative of to protect my family. The only way I can protect my family is to make sure that I'm protecting myself, and that's pretty much how I became vaccinated and how I came up with the decision to get vaccinated.
I can agree with that. And Dre, just into the overall, idea of the 21 Kids Foundation. The service foundations are common among athletes, especially in the NFL. And we see them a lot, with Tua's foundation and so many others. But what kind of led you to begin your foundation in 2013?
I just wanted to give back. Like I said, it was former guys that's from my hometown. They went off to the league or they went off to be successful in whatever they did. And nobody really came back. Nobody really came back, gave to the youth. Nobody gave back to the community. We have a lot of homeless going on in where I'm from, and I just want to just try to educate them, clean it up, get those kids motivation, get the adults motivation. We have outreaches to get grants for scholarships to just motivate everybody, not just one set of people or one set of groups, not one set of race, all race, and that's what we're doing, man. So that's kind of where my passion went because I was one of those kids that was always wishing that somebody could throw a camp. I never had a camp growing up. I never did all the fun things that I'm doing now. So that was the things that I wanted. When my platform came, that's what I strive for.
And Dre, Nick Saban does a lot for the Tuscaloosa community here, celebrating Nick's Kids Foundation, what they've done, through the tornadoes and now through with the children's center that's going to be built here on the Black Warrior River. Have there been kind of words of wisdom from coach in the effort to kind of give back to your hometown in Gadsden?
He's always told us, give back to our hometown. Never forget where you came from. Be a role model, not just by talking about it, by doing things for it. And that's kind of the things that stuck with me. That was kind of the clarity that I needed when I was at Alabama. But so I'm just trying to do the best as I can, and get as much help as I can.
Absolutely. We're talking with Dre Kirkpatrick, former Alabama cornerback, current NFL cornerback heading into his 10th NFL season. His foundation, 21 Kids Foundation, is partnering with Quality of Life Health Services for Gadsden Community COVID-19 Vaccine Clinic. And more information on that can be found at DreKirk21kids.com. Dre, over the summer, you were able to come back. I do want to talk about your son's recruitment here in just a bit, but coming back and kind of getting that taste of nostalgia, you were on those teams that helped build the dynasty that Alabama fans still enjoy today. When you look back on those teams and those players, Trent Richardson and Mark Ingram and all the guys that helped, build the dynasty that exists today, what stands out to you now?
Uh, they loaded in their position. I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day, and I know some of the young corners that's there now. Devontae Smith, the freshman, Kool-Aid. Obviously, I know Kool-Aid. Got great relationship with those guys, and we keep up with each other on social media. And I was talking to a friend about about I think it was, I ain't gonna say who it was about. It was one of them, and he was kind of like worried about if where he's gonna play because they spot playing him, which they spot playing all of them. They got to learn everything. Like I was telling my friend, I was saying, well, when we was playing, if one got hurt, the talent level dropped. When they get hurt, they got another 5-star coming behind them. So that's the total difference that I see is the amount of talent that Coach Saban has built over there, and the amount of talent that they're gonna continue to have.
Yeah, if I look back correctly, you were in a class with 3 5 stars. There were 3 5 stars in the class before you, so there were somewhere around 6, 7, possibly 8 5 stars at Alabama when you
Right,
were playing. At
right.
least your freshman
And we was
year,
all starting. We was all starting, but when you look at the guys that was behind us, they wasn't 5 stars.
right?
They
Now you look and
they never
there's
normally didn't play.
right now you look and
you
there's
know?
5 stars got to wait 2 or 3 years just to get on the field. We're looking at our sophomore quarterback,
Yeah,
who had to
yeah.
bide his time. But when you look at how Saban's kind of coaching his defensive backs today, there's been talks that maybe he's calmed down a little bit over the years. Do you get that impression at all after having seen him work at a camp here recently?
I tell him all the time. I say, Coach, you're getting soft on me, you know. And he don't like that, but I still tell him anyway, all fun and games. But yeah, man, he's adapting to the time. When I was playing, we was having 2 days. Counts was a lot harder. Practice was a lot harder. And there's so many rules that you can do with these kids now. So it's a little different. He have to switch his techniques up, but hey, it's still working. But I definitely always like make jokes with him about how soft he done got.
Well, he's still getting the job done, and that's what counts. Absolutely.
That's all that count.
uh, we mentioned your son, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., a 2024 corner. He's following in your shoes, playing out there with the Titans in Gadsden. What were kind of the emotions like for you watching him getting coached by Nick Saban and working out at the practice fields here in Tuscaloosa this past summer?
It was kind of surreal. My son was old enough to be at Alabama when I was at Alabama. He was more like 4 or 5 years old when I was at Alabama. I had him at a such young age. So just to see him from a kid growing up, when Coach Saban used to mess with him when I haven't brought him around or things like that, to now actually teaching him and coaching him and in the camp, it was kind of a surreal moment for me, man. Just proud moment. Uh, and just kind of overwhelmed with a little bit of emotions after the camp.
Did you give him any kind of pointers on how Nick Saban behaves with his cornerbacks? He's a little bit tougher on them. Did you give him any pointers or just kind of throw him into the deep end?
I just throw him in. I just throw him in. Hey, he got to learn how to swim. So I just throw him in.
I hear that. Talking with Dre Kirkpatrick, NFL cornerback, former Alabama Crimson Tide, two-time national champion. His 21 Kids Foundation is partnering with Quality of Life Health Services for Gadsden Community COVID-19 Vaccine Clinic, and you can find more information at DreKirk21kids.com or call 256-439-6404 to register. We touched a little bit on some of the cornerbacks that are here today, and Josh Jobe is a guy that gets a lot of attention. Kool-Aid, of course, because of the nickname and the branding opportunities there. But just like you, number one player in the state, number one player at his position in the country. He's battling with Jalen Armour Davis. What have you kind of seen here after you came back through the summer with these three guys who have such talent and can contribute to this incredible defense in 2021?
Like I said earlier, man, I'm kind of real close with Kool-Aid. I met him a couple years back at an 8A camp, and we kind of followed each other on Instagram. Been keeping up with him, and I just always just tell him to stay focused. Make sure you gotta keep your face card because the talent's there. Coach gonna get the talent out of him. I'm not worried about his talent. I'm just worried about making the right decisions, keeping a good impression, making people like him, and just giving him all the things that no one really told me, that I could look up to when I was at Alabama. And, just keeping that brotherhood alive and whatever, information or advice I can give him, my door is always open to those guys.
And focusing now, you're entering your 10th year in the NFL. You had an incredible year last year. I've got to say that. 3 interceptions, ninth year in the league out there in the desert with Arizona. But you visited the Saints, the Patriots this summer. What are you kind of looking for your next chapter in the NFL?
Yeah, and I went to the 49ers. Right now, I'm just, like I said, I feel like I should be compensated for the play that I played with last year. The level that I played at last year, I was one of the better corners on our team. Kind of led the team in interceptions. So, didn't give up that many balls, gave up 2 touchdowns the whole year. I just feel like I need to be compensated. I'm not asking for $100 million, just a little something more than the minimum.
Hey, I know you spent 9 years out in Cincy, but I know the Steelers just opened up a lot of cap space. We could use somebody across from Joe Hayden now.
Hey, whatever fits, whatever fit my scheme, however they come at me, I'm willing to play ball. Like I said, I just don't want to take the minimum. I don't think I'm worth the minimum. And if that time comes, I'm gonna be ready.
I fully agree with that. You had an incredible season last year. The end is not near. One more time, tell us about the vaccine clinic and the work that 21 Kids Foundation is doing.
This Saturday, the first Hispanic vaccine clinic will be held in Gadsden, Alabama, and it's just not for the Hispanics. It's just not for blacks. It's for all race, white, black, green, whatever color you are. Come get vaccinated. Get vaccinated on Dre Kirkpatrick 21 Kids Foundation Quality of Life.
This Saturday, noon to 3 p.m. You can register by calling 256-439-6404, and there is more information, DreKirk21kids.com. Dre, I greatly appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you back in the NFL and look forward to continuing to watch your son's recruitment as well. Have a blessed day,
yes,
sir.
Sir. Thank you. Blessed day, too.
Absolutely. Dre Kirkpatrick, man, that was awesome. Super pumped that we got that done. Big thanks to Joe Gaither as well. We'll take a break, come back, close down off the edge here on Tide 100.9.